Namaste viewers and listeners, myself Dr. Brenda Sharma, Associate Professor Kumar Vritya, Sri Shirdi Sai Baba Ayurvedic College, Renwal, Jaipur. Today we are discussing a very important topic for third year student, protein energy malnutrition. What is the need of this topic? The term protein energy malnutrition has been adopted by WHO in 1976 because of reciprocal interaction between PEM and infection is the major cause of death and morbidity. As PEM increases, morbidity increases. So they have reciprocal interaction. The mortality rate in India decreased from 83.1 deaths in 2000 to 42.4 deaths per 1000 live births in 2017, but it is also still more comparing to other countries. Total death account due to malnutrition is 53%. What is the definition? WHO defines malnutrition as the cellular imbalance between the supply of nutrients or energy and the body demand for them to ensure growth, maintenance and specific function. Next definition is for PEM. It is a range of pathological condition arising from coincidental lack of protein and calories in varying proportion and commonly associated with infection. It occurs more frequently in infants and children. To classify PEM, some classification are used. First one is Wellcome Trust classification. It is based on body weight for age and presence of edema. If expected body weight for age is between 16 to 80% and child is non-edematous, then we can say underweight child. If this child whose weight is between 60 to 80% is edematous, then we can say it has kwashiorkor. When expected weight for age is less than 60% and child is non-edematous, we can say it marasmus. And when child is edematous, we can say it marasmic kwashiorkor. Next famous classification is Gomez classification. It also based on body weight for age. Expected weight for age is more than 90%, that is normal. 75 to 90% it is first degree PEM. 60 to 75 it is second degree PEM, and less than 60 it is third degree PEM. The difference is 15% at each category. Next classification is according to Indian Academy of Pediatrics. It is commonly used in survey. The normal grade is when expected weight for age is more than 80%. Grade 1 71 to 80%, grade 2 61 to 70%, grade 3 51 to 60%, and grade 4, that is severe grade, less than or equal to 50%. Next classification is WHO classification, mainly for diagnosis moderate undernutrition and severe undernutrition. When symmetrical edema is present, then it is moderate undernutrition, and in severe undernutrition there is edema present, that is called edematous malnutrition. Weight for height, it is the measures of wasting when standard deviation score is -2 to -3. That means the weight for height is between 70 to 79%. That is called moderate undernutrition or muscle wasting. When weight for height is less than 70% of expected weight, or we can say standard deviation score is less than -3, then it is called severe undernutrition or severe wasting. Next is height for age. This is measure of stunting. When standard deviation score is between -2 to -3, or we can say it is between 85 to 89%, this is called moderate undernutrition or moderate stunting. When this standard deviation score is less than -3 and less than 85% of expected height, this is called severe undernutrition or severe stunting. Next are age independent anthropometric indices. These are Dugdale index, which formula is weight in kilogram upon height in centimeter power 1.6 into 100. It is normal when it comes between 0.88 to 0.97. In severely malnourished children, it is less than 0.79. Next index is Rouse index. Formula is weight in kilogram upon height in centimeter power square into 100. It is normal when it comes 0.15 to 0.16. In severely malnourished child, it is less than 0.14. Next index is Kanavati index. It is depend on mid arm circumference upon head circumference. It is normal when it comes 0.32 to 0.33 or less than equal to 0.25 in severely malnourished children. Next age independent criteria is BMI. CDC has published BMI chart to measure BMI from 2 to 20 years of age group for both boy and girls. Its formula for BMI, weight in kilogram divided by height in meter square. When we see in this chart, more than 95th percentile, the weight status is overweight. Between 85 to 95, there are risk of overweight. Between 50 to 85th percentile, it is normal, and when this is 50 or less, this is called underweight. Next criteria is mid upper arm circumference. Between age 1 to 5, it is almost constant. When we categorize it, it should be more than 13.5 for its normal range. 12.5 to 13.5, it indicate borderline malnutrition, or we can say mild to moderate wasting, and less than 12.5, there is severe wasting. We can assess it through Shake tape method. This is the tape we see in picture. There is marking, red is less than 12.5, yellow is between 12.5 to 13.5, and green is more than 13.5. It is normal between 1 to 5 year of age group. Next is Bengal test. Bengal test, in this a bangle is used of 4 centimeter diameter. In preschool children, when it crosses the elbow, it shows the child is malnourished. So it should not cross the elbow in preschool age child. Next is quack stick test. In this, height, one side we have height and one side we have mid-arm circumference. So according to height, mid-arm circumference is mentioned here. So we should check the child's height and mid-arm circumference, and we can decide it that child is malnourished or not. Next is skin fold thickness. It is measured by Herpendance caliper at the triceps, biceps, subscapular and suprailiac region. We show the diagram. First one is subscapular, second suprailiac, third is at triceps level, and fourth is at biceps level. It is more than 10 mm in healthy children between age 1 to 6 years and less than 6 mm in moderate to severe malnutrition. Next way of assessment is growth development chart. It is for boy and girls separately. According to age, there is a weight. When it comes between green line, that is normal, yellow is borderline, and red is severely malnourished. So we can assess by this growth chart available in all Anganwadis and government hospitals. Next, what is the etiology behind protein energy malnutrition? First important thing is dietary factor. Deficiency of essential food elements required for nutrition may be due to lack of breastfeeding for first 6 months or artificial feeding. When breastfeed is not much sufficient, we use artificial feeding, so it can hamper the child growth. Delayed introduction of solid food, often beyond 1 year. So when weaning is late, so child requirement is less, so development or growth is less. Poverty is the main cause, and unhygienic feeding practices like bottle feeding or some unhygienic other things, so it may provoke the frequent diarrhea, and diarrhea is cause of malnutrition. One new theory is free radical and aflatoxin theory. Its poisoning may damage liver cell, giving rise to kwashiorkor. This is new research. Next, infections. In 60 to 75% cases of PM, the infection of the GIT is found, which interfere absorption like diarrhea. Other infections like pneumonia, malaria, measles, whooping cough and tuberculosis. These infections precipitate and aggravate the existing nutrition deficit by impair appetite during infection. We see normally during any infection the child appetite is less. Restriction of food by parents. This is myth that child is ill, so do not give him much food. So this myth also restrict the food to a child. Increase metabolic demand for protein. Next factors are social factors. Repeated pregnancies, no required duration like 3 years between two pregnancy, no child spacing, so it is the call of malnutrition. Working women, it is also cause. Population growth is main cause. Congenital disorders like biliary tract abnormality, lactose intolerance, milk allergy, pyloric stenosis, cleft palate and celiac disease, these can cause malnutrition. UNICEF providing a flow chart for its etiology. The basic causes of malnutrition are socio-culture, economic and political context, inadequate financial, human, physical and social resources, household access to adequate quantity and quality of resources like land, education, employment, income and technology. Underlying causes like household food insecurity, inadequate care and feeding practices, unhealthy household environment and inadequate health services. Just immediate cause are inadequate dietary intake and some infection or diseases. They may produce maternal and child undernutrition. Consequence, in short term consequence, there is high morbidity and mortality, and long term consequence, cognitive, economic, metabolic and cardiovascular diseases. What are the clinical manifestation of PM? Extreme form of malnutrition are marasmus, kwashiorkor, xerophthalmia, anemia and goiter. We are discussing here major two, marasmus and kwashiorkor. We will discuss one by one. First one is kwashiorkor. The term kwashiorkor is taken from the Ga language of Ghana. This means the sickness of the weaning. It usually appears at the age of 12 months when breastfeeding is discontinued and weaning started, but it can develop at any time during the child formative year, mostly between 1 to 5 years. It also called wet protein energy malnutrition is a form of PM characterized primarily by protein deficiency. We can divide its clinical features in two parts. First part, essential features. The first important thing is growth retardation, markedly growth retardation. It is very important. Next is muscle wasting with retention of subcutaneous fat in face and abdomen. Psychomotor changes is very important. Apathetic stage. What is apathetic stage? Child is less interested in environment or anything. He is irritable with sad and he show no sign of hunger. It is difficult to feed them. And very important thing is edema. Hypoalbuminic pitting edema. The serum albumin level is less than 2.5 gram percentage. This starts from lower extremities and later involves upper limb and face. Then second category is non-essential features. In this, first is hair. They are thin, dry, brittle, curled, sparse, less elastic, lusterless and finally flake sign present. What is flake sign? Alternate bands of hypopigmented and normal pigmented hairs, जो just like flag. And skin changes. The skin changes are more on extremities, on legs and hands. Dermatitis, main is flaky pant dermatitis and crazy pavement dermatitis. The alternate hypopigmented and hyperpigmented scars over the skin. Erythema, hyperpigmentation, skin is dry and there is hyperkeratosis. Secondary skin infection like scabies are common in this kwashiorkor. In 1/3 cases, liver is enlarged and fatty. Infections are common like diarrhea, recurrent respiratory tract infections and skin infection. Other common features and important features is moon face and anemia. Next disease is marasmus. The term marasmus is derived from Greek word marasmos, which means severe wasting of muscle and subcutaneous tissue. It develops when protein and energy deficiency are of same degree. Common age is 0 to 2 years. Higher incidence in infancy is found. What are the clinical features? In this, body weight is less than 60% of expected weight of age. Height is also affected, but in lesser extent. Depletion of fat in adipose tissue because it used in providing energy. Skin is thin, wrinkled, scaly, inelastic and loose folds over the glutei and inner side of the thighs. This is called baggy pant appearance. And important thing is there is no edema. Psychological changes are important. This child is alert with good appetite. They are hungry. So treatment is more easy and effective. Bony point appearance due to emaciation, visible ribs with prominent costochondral joints. So they look like oldies. Abdominal distension due to wasting and hypotonia of abdominal wall muscle. Child looks older than his age. And face appearance is important. Monkey face due to loss of buccal fat. We can grade this disease in 4 grades. In grade 1, there is loose skin folds in axilla and groin. In grade 2, loose skin folds in thigh and buttocks. In grade 3, loose skin folds in chest and abdomen. In grade 4, the buccal pad fat also wasted with loose skin folds. So in last, buccal fat is lost. This is the slide for showing the difference between marasmus and kwashiorkor. In appearance, marasmus like old man or monkey look, skin and bone with generalized wasting. In kwashiorkor, there is mooning of face with dependent edema and upper limb wasted. Age prone for marasmus is infant, and in kwashiorkor 1 to 5 year. Weight ratio less than 60% in marasmus and 60 to 80% in kwashiorkor. Growth retardation is more in marasmus and less in kwashiorkor. Edema always present in kwashiorkor, not in marasmus. Apathetic stage find in kwashiorkor. What was apathetic? Less interested in environment. Mood, marasmus child is usually alert and kwashiorkor child is irritable with sad. Appetite is good in marasmic child and very poor in kwashiorkor. Hair change found in kwashiorkor. We discuss about flax sign. Skin changes mainly found on kwashiorkor, dermatitis, flaky pant dermatitis and crazy pavement dermatitis. Fatty liver almost found in 1/3 cases of kwashiorkor. Infections are more in kwashiorkor. Life-threatening conditions are more in kwashiorkor. Serum protein and albumin level is low in marasmus and very low in kwashiorkor. Response to treatment is good in marasmus and poor in kwashiorkor. Next category is marasmic kwashiorkor. severe edema of feet and leg and also hands, lower arms, abdomen and face. There is pale skin and hair and the child is unhappy. Wasting of the muscles of the upper arm, shoulders and chest so that you can see the ribs. Next condition is nutritional dwarfing or stunting. Weight and height are both reduced and in the same proportion, so they appear superficially normal but they are dwarf and stunting. Underweight child. The children with subclinical PEM can be detected by their weight for age or weight for height, which are significantly below normal. They may have reduced plasma albumin. They are at risk of respiratory and GIT infections. What investigation we prescribe for this type of patients? In blood investigation, HB, CBC and blood culture, urine, routine and microscopic, stool, ova, cyst and reducing substance, X-ray chest for pneumonia and tuberculosis, biochemical examination like serum protein, albumin, globulin, electrolyte, blood sugar, LFT and RFT. Mantoux test should be prescribed. At hormone level, TSH and insulin is found less and growth hormone and cortisol found high. Next we come on treatment. Treatment mainly based on resuscitation, restoration and rehabilitation pattern. Resuscitation, that is management of life-threatening complication in severe cases. Nutritional management to restore weight for height, that is restoration, and consolidation of cure, continuation of food supplementation and prevention of relapse, that is called rehabilitation. We will see one by one. First one is resuscitation or hospitalization. This is management of complication. We can learn this by shielded method. What is shielded? As for sugar, or we can say hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia, sugar level is less than 54 mg per dl. Then we can prescribe 10% glucose, 5 to 10 ml per kg IV and maintenance by 10% glucose drip. Second one, H is hypothermia. Hypothermia is temperature less than 35.5 degree centigrade. We can correct this by bedding with mother, warm bed, double clothing and kangaroo mother care technique. Next, I for infection, we can use IV antibiotic according to infection. Then electrolyte imbalance and dehydration, correct according to condition, requirement and lab finding of the electrolytes. Next is deficiency conditions like anemia and xerophthalmia should be correct. In continuation of hospital management, if convulsions, tremors and tetany, IV 10% dextrose and 10% calcium gluconate 1 ml per kg can be given. 50% of magnesium sulfate 0.1 ml per kg IM 12 hourly for 2 to 3 days. In case of severe anemia, if HB is less than 5 gram percentage, we can prescribe packed cell volume 2 to 10 ml per kg followed by 3 to 6 mg per kg per day elemental iron with folic acid for 3 months. For vitamin and mineral deficiency, vitamin A, according to age, we can prescribe 50,000 international unit to 2 lakh international unit. vitamin K 2.5 mg per IM, magnesium sulfate 0.3 ml per kg, maximum dose is 2 ml of 50% magnesium sulfate intramuscular. Potassium 3 to 4 m equivalent per kg per day for 2 weeks. Zinc 1 to 2 mg per kg for 2 to 3 months. Folic acid 5 mg on day first and then 1 mg per day. Next is restoration or dietary therapy. We can learn this by BEST. What is BEST? B for begin feeding, E for energy dense feeding, S for stimulation of emotional sensory motor development, T for transfer to home based diet. In this, calorie and protein required initially 30% calorie can be started and rises gradually to 100% in 5 to 7 days. So slowly grow. 150 to 200 kilocalorie per kg per day of actual weight can be given. In this, 3 to 5 gram protein per day in 6 to 8 feeds per day are prescribed. Feeds 2 hourly in daytime, 1 in late night and 1 in early morning. This is dietary. In this, fluid or milk up to 150 to 165 ml per kg can be given. Initially ORS followed by milk, milk based diet, semi-solid diet and solid diet. High energy milk, or we can say isodense formula, is important. In this, milk 100 ml, sugar 5 gram, oil 2.5 ml, half TSF. Total 100 ml of milk gives 100 kilocalorie. In this, adding of visible fat 10 to 15% of total energy requirement. We can add directly coconut oil for feeding. In case of lactose intolerance, diluted milk followed by undiluted milk or milk plus banana, soybean milk, ground nut milk can be used. And finally, last, family pot feeding. Start greeny leafy vegetables, fruits, roots, tubers, cereals, pulses, eggs, etc. what we eat in a family. Last method is rehabilitation. Its aim: consolidation of cure, continuation of food supplementation and prevention of relapse. In this, there is promotion of breastfeeding. Breastfeeding should be advised and their advantage should be learned to a mother. Development of low cost weaning, nutrition education and promotion of correct feeding practices to mother, family planning and specifying of birth, immunization, food fortification. What is fortification? Adding micronutrients in food. And last is early diagnosis and early treatment is best for rehabilitation. This is very important, commonly asked in exam. What is acute malnutrition or severe acute malnutrition, SAM, or moderate acute malnutrition, MAM? In severe acute malnutrition, weight for height is less than -3 standard deviation, or we can say less than 70% of expected weight for height, and mid upper arm circumference is less than 11.5 centimeter. This is age specific, 1 to 5 years. Bilateral pitting edema, and in this 9 times higher risk of death in SAM. In moderate acute malnutrition, weight for height is between -3 standard deviation to -2 standard deviation. Mid upper arm circumference is between 11.5 to 12.5. A child with SAM with medical complication and no appetite should be admitted for IPD. Medical condition include gross edema, high or low body temperature, acute or prolonged respiratory infections, watery diarrhea, vomiting, extensive oral thrush, very pale eye and palms, that is severe anemia, irritability or loss of consciousness. This is the criteria for hospital admission of SAM patient. This is the ray diagram of previous slide of acute malnutrition, severe acute malnutrition and moderate acute malnutrition. Criteria for hospitalization we describe here: severe fasting, high or low body temperature, acute or prolonged respiratory infection, watery diarrhea, vomiting, poor feeding, extensive oral thrush, very pale eye and palm, that is anemia. This is managed in IPD and care with F75 and F100 food. No minimal medical condition in SAM when edema is less, patient is feeding well, there is good appetite, clinically well or mild infection. So we can manage it by OPD level with RUTF. What is? This is a food pattern, ready to use therapeutic food, and in condition of MAM there is no edema, appetite is good, clinically stable, then supplementary feeding should be started. Thank you very much. We will discuss its Ayurvedic part in next presentation.